Today's lesson introduces the love cycle of Layla bint Mahdi or Layla al-Amiriyah and Qais ibn al-Mulawah, better known as Majnun Layla or Layla's Fool. Although originally set in 7th century Arabia, the medieval legend extends well beyond its time and place. Majnun Layla was the occasion of the first opera in the Islamic world, premiering in Azerbaijan in 1908. Eric Clapton's 1970 masterpiece Leilá constitutes its most popular adaptation in the West. As the legend spread across lands and times, it underwent many variations. However, the core handful of brief and fragmentary verses centers on the following incidents. Qais falls madly in love with his much younger cousin Leilá. I use the phrase madly in love advisedly, love entailing some madness than as now. Upon requesting her hand in marriage, her father, Mehdi, refuses Qais on suspicion of the suitor's madness. All the while, Qais pens poems promulgating his love for Leilá, whom he mentions explicitly. This would have been scandalous in the Arabic poetic tradition, since the male lover must refrain from divulging his beloved's name publicly. This tradition extends to contemporary popular culture. For instance, Amr Diab's famous refrain goes, Habibi, Habibi, Habibi ya Nurul Ain, not Habibti, Habibti, Habibti ya Nurul Ain. So the precaution against exposing one's lover by name goes so far as to veil the gender of the pronouns themselves. Anyway, Qais's family rejects the prospect as much as Layla's does. They try to convince the mad lover of marrying any number of other women, but Qais cannot set his heart and mind to anyone other than Leilá. Meanwhile, Mehdi marries off his daughter to a merchant of the Thaqif tribe, and together they relocate to northern Arabia. Qais, in turn, abandons his own tribe, preferring to wander the deserts in solitude, and so he does, presumably mad, assuredly heartbroken. Not long after, Leilá, having relocated to Iraq, falls ill and dies. We have no consensus on the cause of her illness and death, but some accounts ascribe her demise to heartbreak. Upon learning of Layla's passing, Qais himself dies grief-stricken near her grave. Both Leilá and Qais are reported to have died in 688. In terms of its genre, the Majnun Layla tradition epitomizes al-hubb al-udhri or virgin love par excellence, that is, unconsummated erotic verses replete with longing for union with an absent lover. Other cycles of this tradition include the legends of Qais and Lubna, Kuthayr and Azza, and Antara and Abla. Distinct but parallel pre-modern figures of thwarted lovers inhere in the West as well, including Dante and Beatrice, Petrarch and Laura, and the Roman sources that inspired them and their successors, including Pyramus and Thisbe, the ultimate source for Romeo and Juliet, and Troilus and Cresside. The following poem, ascribed to Qais ibn al-Mulawah, rehearses several episodes from the legend, including both families' refusal to unite the lovers, Layla's illness, Qais's intimations of madness, and his declarations of undying love to Leilá.